Hi everybody, my name is Mercedes Giles and I am the melanated mompreneur. This is my first YouTube channel, my first YouTube video, and I'm very excited to get started. My channel is geared toward every woman. I believe every woman will be able to glean something from the knowledge and experience that I share here. However, I am definitely focusing on Black maternal health, Black women's health. We are often left out of the conversation, and so I'm using my YouTube channel as a space that we can have this conversation about the things that affect us in healthcare and how we can make it better for ourselves. So I am gonna start my first series talking about my pregnancy. I had a lot of unique factors, and I think I have a lot of tips to give and just to share my story. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. I wanna talk about pre-pregnancy. So before I got pregnant, I was taking birth control. That was in 2019. I stopped taking the birth control around May of 2019 because I started experiencing some side effects, and I was also starting a business. To that point, I am a family medicine physician and I have my own practice in Pearland, Texas. So that's the business that I started, and we are growing. We're in infancy stage, but we are growing. So I didn't think I was gonna get pregnant. I was so focused on work and, whatever. But 3 months later, in January 2020, y'all, I had a positive pregnancy test. I was excited, nervous, scared, all of the above. Not ready, because in the back of my mind, I didn't think this would happen for, like I said, maybe a year. So before pregnancy, around September, I got my Well Woman exam. And yes, I'm smiling. Yes, I am excited, because knowing your health is the most important thing. Knowing where you stand and what your needs are is very important. So I went to my OBGYN, I got my Well Woman exam. So before that exam, I already knew that I had uterine fibroids, and I already knew that I had high blood pressure. But during that exam, I found out that I had a few more and that one of them had gotten a little larger. And I also found out that my blood pressure was not well controlled. So I went back to my primary care doctor. She changed my medication. It came under control, and I have been on the same medication ever since. With finding out that one of my fibroids grew a little bit and that two smaller new ones had grown, I was a little nervous about getting pregnant, and I was trying to find out if I could have them removed. However, none of them were big enough to qualify for surgery. She did an ultrasound, and none of them could be surgically removed based on the guidelines. And the guidelines are important. You want your doctor to follow those because they keep you safe. So it just means that the risk of putting me through a surgery versus keeping these fibroids, the risk of the surgery, or the benefits of the surgery, did not outweigh the risk that I had just keeping the fibroids, which just meant heavier periods. And I will talk about fibroids and how to navigate that with your periods and pain in a whole other video, because as Black women, we do tend to get fibroids earlier than some other populations. But I know every culture of women deals with fibroids. It's just what age, how many. So with Black women, we tend to get them earlier, and they tend to be larger. So then I said, I got two things to figure out: how I'm gonna pay for my maternity health care and what doctor I'm using for prenatal care. So for the financing, I called my insurance company because maternity health care was not automatic, but it's something you can add. And y'all, it was so expensive. So I said, you know what? I'm probably not going to be eligible for state benefits at this time, but I will find out the cash pay price from my doctor. So that's a point that I want to make. Many physicians have a cash pay option. So you don't have to feel like you can't get prenatal care if you're in between. Like you make too much to qualify for state benefits, and you don't have a maternity plan that you can add or that your husband can add. Secondly, if you do qualify for Medicaid, please do it, okay? Everything will be covered, and you need to get prenatal care. That's for every single person, no matter your risk level. You need prenatal care. It is important. Some people say, oh, it's not important. It's important because you don't know what's going on in your body. You cannot see in there. You are not an expert. So the next thing was, like I said, establishing with prenatal care. So for me, being over 35, which is advanced maternal age, being that I had high blood pressure, and being that I had uterine fibroids, I knew it was best for me to seek out an OBGYN. And I will talk about the difference between a midwife and an OBGYN and which one you should choose based on your health later in the video. So I knew I had to choose an OBGYN because I already qualified just by my age as advanced maternal age. And that is already considered high risk. And that is because you are at risk for more complications 35 and up than you would be under 35. So it's not trying to make you feel bad. It's just the truth based on years and years of studies of women who have been pregnant over 35. Doesn't mean that everyone has a complication or you will. It's just you need to be monitored more. Okay, so then I established with a new OBGYN because I wanted someone closer to my area. And so I established with Dr. Wayada Freeman in Pearland. And so if you live in Pearland, I encourage you to check her out. She is amazing. Of course, she had good cash prices. So you could break your payments up over months, trimesters, and everything had to be paid by 32 weeks. But I've been pregnant during the coronavirus, self-employed, so my finances definitely changed. And I ended up being able to get state benefits in the middle, in my third trimester. So it worked out for me for the end. And I'll talk more about why that was important, of course, in another video when we get to the third trimester stories. So then once I established with Dr. Freeman, we made the appointment, which started around 8 weeks. So she doesn't see any patients. And I noticed that a lot of private OBs do not start seeing patients before 8 weeks. And likely that's because the risk of miscarriage is higher before that time. So then I want to talk about low risk versus high risk. So what does that mean when a doctor says you're low risk, you're high risk? What does that mean? So low risk is usually someone under 35 years old. You don't have any prior medical diseases. You haven't had multiple miscarriages. You don't have worrisome family history for genetic disorders. For a high risk, it means the opposite of all of that. Basically, you are over 35. So just being over 35, you are now high risk. You have health issues, maybe thyroid, type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes. You have high blood pressure, any other type of disease that you have to manage or take medications for that may cause complications, or injuries that may cause complications with your pregnancy. You're considered high risk. If you've had complications in a prior pregnancy, you are also high risk. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please, if you liked it, click the thumbs up. Please subscribe so you'll know when I come out with a new video. My goal is going to be to do one every week. And then please share with others so that we can just start building this community of Black women and other women that we can talk about, you know, the real deal, the real issues that we face. So thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm Mercedes Giles, aka the Melanated Mompreneur, and I'm happy to be on YouTube sharing my story. Bye.